Capricorn, welcome to your astrology reading for the month of August. So before I dive into the energy here, this is going to be most applicable for your rising sign, which is how other people perceive you, your sun sign, which is how you express yourself, and then your moon sign, which is how you process everything internally through that emotional lens. And so really understanding all three kind of gives you that picture on how the month is going to play out for you holistically. But talking about the energy of the month, we have Mercury stationing retrograde. We're actually already in the pre-shadow even as I'm recording this, so that happened on July 16th. I know a lot of people fear Mercury being retrograde, but it's a lot of communication that is normally external, a switch here to processing everything internally here and really understanding things. And this is just one more planet to add to all of the retrogrades that are taking place. So we already have Pluto retrograde in Aquarius, Saturn in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, and Chiron, even though it's an asteroid, it's pretty significant here, and that one is retrograde in the sign of Aries. And so a lot's happening here, and the Mercury retrograde will happen pretty early in the month, but we'll start with the new moon in the sign of Leo. So that's going to happen on August 4th at 7:13 in the morning Eastern time. And so when this happens, you have the sun and the moon at the same degree point in the sky, which just means the energy is completely overlapped. It is a blending of the energy. And so the sun is you expressing yourself, the moon is how you feel. And so you can already see a lot of emphasis on expressing how you feel about something. For you, the Leo energy falls in your 8th house. And so 8th house is the house of transformation. This is death and rebirth. This is power and control issues. There's a lot connected to this 8th house energy. There's intimacy issues. Could be other people's money, so the money that you earn from an outside source, like your job. This could be an inheritance. This could be the debt that you have. And so what you're seeing here is really maybe expressing yourself differently, how you feel about maybe a transformation that is taking place. How do you feel about the money that you earn or the debt that you have? There's a lot of different components to this, and so we'll dive in a little bit more here. And so with the sun and moon energy, there is a sextile to both Mars and Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. So Gemini for you rules your 6th house, which is all about your daily routines. And so think about your exercise, your diet. So diet, not just meaning like a restrictive diet, but like what you eat on a regular basis. What kind of life do you live on a regular basis? What does that daily life look like for you? And so this 8th house, this transformative 8th house, and how you feel about it and maybe what's happening here, it's creating some sort of opportunity for you to take some sort of action in your daily life, grow something within your daily life, expand something here, because Mars is the planet of action. Jupiter is all about growth and expansion. And so this is an opportunity that you would have to seize. It wouldn't just organically happen. During this new moon, we'll also have the sun and moon trine the North Node in the sign of Aries. North Node in Aries. Aries for you rules your 4th house of home. North Node is an eclipse point. So this is the action that you're required to take. This is a fated action that is required of you. So it will happen. This is a trine. This is going to easily flow. And so during this new moon, as you're kind of feeling your way through this transformation that's taking place, something happening within inside you, it's going to easily flow with whatever action you need to take in your home environment. Now, Chiron is also here, but I'm going to hold on that until we talk a little bit more about, well, a little bit later in the day. But during this new moon, there is some sort of fated action that you're going to take in your home environment, and it's going to be connected to a transformation for you. So later in the day, we have Venus enter the sign of Virgo. So again, on the 4th, this one's at 10:23 p.m. Eastern time. And so Venus is the planet that rules relationships. It wants to bring things together. It's harmony, it's balance, it's what you value. In the sign of Virgo, there's a healing component connected to it, an analytical component. Virgo likes to go inward and really think things through and really understand the inner workings, the impact that it has, maybe any kind of healing energy that needs to take place here. Virgo for you occupies your 9th house. And so Venus, when Venus enters Virgo, it will conjunct Mercury, also in the sign of Virgo. And what this means is you might be having a lot of healing conversations that relate to some sort of growth. And so what we're seeing earlier in the day is that there's some sort of internal transformation that's taking place. Now we're seeing, okay, well, what do I need to do? What do I need to heal in order to be able to grow? What kind of conversations am I having with other people? Venus in Virgo will also trine Chiron in Aries. And so we had the North Node in Aries. So what fated action do you need to take? Chiron in Aries, what kind of wound has been coming to the surface? Now, this could be a wound connected to your home life, or it can be some sort of ancestral wound. And so that could be something like a generational type of wound that's coming to the surface or has been coming to the surface that you need to heal. And so there's something around your growth and your opportunities for growth and a healing component to that that will aid and support whatever action that you're taking to heal this wound. Very significant. Venus in Virgo will square Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And so Taurus occupies your 5th house. So this is the house of children, short-term relationships, passions, hobbies, all the things that you enjoy doing outside of work for fun. And so whatever it is that you're trying to do in order to grow yourself, whatever healing conversations you might be having, things that you might be bringing together, an emphasis here on what you value, it's just creating challenges to these changes that are occurring in that 5th house. So these would be changes that are already taking place. This is just, it's a challenging energy. You can work with it. You just have to put the effort into it, but it is possible. And then the next day, so really it's actually a couple hours later, we have Mercury station retrograde in the sign of Virgo. So that's going to happen on the 5th at 12:56 in the morning Eastern time. And so now Mercury retrograde in Virgo. So again, Virgo, that healing energy, that innermost thoughts and really processing everything. Mercury retrograde is also internal processing. And so it's still conjunct Venus. And so instead of having maybe some outward conversations, this is going to be emphasized more on what an internal reflection of those looks like. When you think about your growth and the growth opportunities that are present for you, how is that going to impact you overall? What does that look like from a big picture standpoint? How do you bring things together? How do you heal and kind of move in that direction? We'll have Mercury retrograde square Mars and Gemini. And so this internal reflection on that growth opportunity, what's in front of you, what do you see for yourself, big picture, it's going to create some sort of challenge here to any kind of action that you're trying to take or maybe even have thought about taking in your daily life. And again, a square energy, you can work with it. It just requires some effort. Mercury retrograde will also square Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And so those changes that are taking place as they relate to your hobbies, your passions, maybe even children, when you think about and reflect on this growth and these growth opportunities that are available to you, what does that look like? It's just creating challenges here when it comes to the changes that are taking place in that sector of your chart. So again, children, passions, things like that. This is a reoccurring theme. We'll see this throughout the month, and then it gets better at the end of the month. Then I made a note about Lionsgate. So Lionsgate, there's a mix happening here. So numerology, astrology, tarot, there's a lot of overlapping here. There normally is anyway, but this one specifically, so it's a portal. I'll talk about this more in a separate video, but the culmination point is August 8th. And so it's 8/8, we're in an 8 year. And so there's gonna be a lot of components to it. And so I'm just gonna focus that on a separate video, probably in the daily read, and just do an extended one. But jumping back and talking about Mercury station retrograde. So it's stationed retrograde in the sign of Virgo on the 5th. On the 14th, it actually slides back into the sign of Leo. So that's going to happen at 8:16 p.m. Eastern time. And Mercury in Leo for you is in that 8th house of transformation. So now we've talked about a lot of growth opportunities, what's available to you. Now this is about an internal reflection on what's changing. What changes do you need to take? These would be bold changes that you would want to make here. And those Mercury in Leo conjunct Sun in Leo, you might be expressing some of those bold changes that you want to make here. We'll also have Mercury retrograde trine the moon in Sagittarius. And so that internal reflection on the transformation that's occurring right now is going to easily blend with how you feel about yourself internally. And so that moon in Sagittarius is sitting in your 12th house. It's the house of the subconscious here. And so when you think about yourself and who you want to be from a big picture standpoint, whatever changes are taking place, whatever direction that you want to move in, your understanding of that growth and those changes that are necessary easily blends with how you want to be seen, like who you want to be internally. Mercury retrograde will also trine Chiron in Aries. And so again, that internal reflection on that transformation, what changes here need to take place, easily blends with whatever action you're taking to heal that ancestral wound or that wound connected to the home environment. And then just like we've seen, we'll have Mercury retrograde square Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And so those changes that are taking place as they relate to children, passions, things like that, a more difficult energy because it is creating challenges. So this internal reflection on your transformation is just creating challenges there that you would have to work with if you wanted to. You can. And then on the 19th, we have the full moon in the sign of Aquarius. And so that's going to happen at 2:26 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so when this happens, you've got the sun and we've got the moon. They're at opposite points in the sky. So sun in Leo, it's all about you expressing yourself. Moon in Aquarius, how do you feel about the collective? And so you can already kind of see how this is opposite energy. For you, sun in Leo is in your 8th house. 8th house could be other people's money, the money that comes in from outside sources. This could be the debt that you have, your spouse's income. It's not just the house of transformation, although it could be. Opposite moon in Aquarius. So how do you feel about your financial position? So 2nd house is money you already have. 8th house is money coming in. It's like really money coming in and money going out versus what you keep. So think of it that way. And so just like we see with any full moon, we'll have the sun and moon having conversations with the planets. They'll just be a little bit different. And so with the sun in Leo, it will conjunct Mercury retrograde in Leo. So we've already been seeing this energy. So expressing yourself, whatever it is that maybe you feel from an outside income standpoint, or it could be your transformation, understanding the impact of that all easily blends together. Whereas the moon will be opposite Mercury retrograde in Leo. So when you kind of internally process everything that's taking place here, it is opposite how you feel about your financial security, how you feel about your finances in general. The sun will trine Chiron in the sign of Aries. And so expressing yourself through some sort of transformation, expressing what you want to change here, it's going to easily blend with whatever healing action you're doing. So as it relates to a wound connected to your home, it could be an ancestral wound. So this could even indicate that expressing yourself and maybe going after additional income here is going to help heal this wound connected to the home, or maybe some sort of ancestral wound. We'll have the moon in Aquarius sextile Chiron in Aries. And so the moon energy, so how you feel about the money that you already have, maybe the investments that you already have here, it's going to sextile Chiron in Aries. And so what this is doing is it's creating another opportunity for you to take some sort of action to heal that wound. We'll also have the sun and the moon. They'll be in a T-square to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And so what this really means is that however you're expressing yourself and this transformation, maybe money coming in from outside sources, the debt that you have, all of these things, it's creating some sort of challenge to the changes that are taking place within that house of children, passions, hobbies, things along those lines. Again, you can work with the energy, but it might be a little bit more difficult just because of that energy seems to be persistent throughout the month. So you would really have to put in some sort of concerted effort. We have the moon in Aquarius doing the same thing. So how you feel about the money you already have is creating challenges, or yes, it's creating some sort of challenge to the changes that are happening here as it relates to children, your passions, things like that. And then we have the moon in Aquarius. It will trine both Mars and Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. And so Gemini, again, your daily life. And so what kind of action do you want to take in your daily life? What kind of growth and expansion do you see there? Because how you feel about your personal finances easily flows with whatever you want to do within your daily life. And so really aiding the how you feel about your money is really aiding whatever changes you want to happen within your daily life. And really it's a growth and expansion type of change with that Jupiter energy. And then we have the sun enter the sign of Virgo. So that's going to happen on the 22nd at 10:55 in the morning Eastern time. And so when this happens, it will be conjunct Mercury retrograde in the sign of Leo. But the sun in Virgo, so the sun in Leo, very bold, dynamic type of expression. Virgo is very introspective. It's a lot of, let me take in all this information, let me think things through, really analyze it all into some really low level of detail. Is there something here I need to fix? Is there something here I need to heal from? That's what Virgo energy is all about. And so with the sun in Virgo, it is about maybe expressing yourself and expressing any kind of healing that is taking place, your understanding of the situation here. Virgo occupies your 9th house, so this could be connected to your growth and where do you see yourself going? I like that. With this conjunction to Mercury retrograde in Leo, understanding the other transformation that is taking place. So this is a real connection between transformation and growth. And so things here are changing for you because that Mercury retrograde in Leo is in your 8th house of transformation. So that is the death and rebirth, easily blending with maybe you expressing yourself, the direction that you want to go, what kind of growth opportunities exist for you, and really kind of going in that direction. It's going to easily blend. This is really just a very close conversation between these two planets. The sun in Virgo will also trine Chiron in Aries. And so you expressing any kind of healing component related to your growth, like how does your growth help you heal something here? Because this is going to easily blend with whatever action you're taking to heal that wound connected to your home environment. Again, could be some sort of ancestral wound, like that generational type of wound. And so whatever you're aiming towards, whatever you see for yourself going after long term here is really going to help you heal that wound. And then just like we've been seeing, we'll have the sun in Virgo square Uranus in the sign of Taurus. And so there's changes that are already happening here as it relates to children, as it relates to hobbies, passions, things like that, where these kind of growth opportunities and really understanding and really going in that direction, expressing yourself in that way, it's creating challenges to those changes that are already occurring. But again, you can work with the energy. Then we have Mercury station direct. So that's going to happen on the 28th at 5:14 in the afternoon Eastern time. And so now Mercury in Leo is no longer retrograde. And so this is about having external conversations, very bold conversations. We're still going to be in the post-shadow period for a period of time because of just the way that Mercury, and it's really all the planets, it's kind of like building up to when it's retrograde and then it's kind of coming off the retrograde status. So it won't be 100% external, but you might be having bold conversations as it relates to your transformation, that death and rebirth again. And this is going to easily flow with healing that ancestral or that wound connected to your home environment because Mercury in Leo will trine Chiron in Aries. Mercury in Leo will also sextile Mars and Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. And so what kind of action do you want to take in your daily life? How do these conversations, these transformative type of conversations, how do they help you? How do they maybe provide an opportunity here for you to take some sort of action that allows you to grow something in your daily life, make more time for something, increase its value in some sort of way? And then we have Mercury in Leo square Uranus and Taurus. And again, just those changes that are already taking place as they relate to children, your hobbies, passions, things like that. Whatever kind of conversations that you're having, those kind of bold, dynamic, transformative type of conversations, it's really creating some sort of obstacle or challenge to addressing and maybe even navigating some of those changes that are taking place. But we're about to see the next day that this does get a little bit easier here. And that happens when Venus enters the sign of Libra. So that's going to happen on the 29th at 9:23 in the morning Eastern time. Venus is the ruler of Libra. It also rules Taurus, but here, it's going to be more impactful for Libra. So Venus rules relationships, so does Libra. Libra likes to bring things together, so does Venus. It's all about balance here. And so for you, that occupies your 10th house. And so there's a very balanced component to your 10th house energy here. And so Venus and Libra occupying your career. What is it that you're trying to balance within your career? What is it that you're trying to accomplish here? And how does that help you navigate the changes that are taking place as it relates to children, as it relates to your hobbies, your passions, things like that, because this is an easy blend of energy. So whatever you're trying to balance or bring together within your career is really going to help you here navigate those changes. Then we have Venus in Libra, trine Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. And so whatever you're trying to balance within your career is also going to easily blend with some sort of internal change on how you view your personal finances. And this is really about how you view, because that Pluto is retrograde. So Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. And so it is about you kind of internally changing how you perceive your finances. What do you want here when it comes to your personal finances? And how does your career help that? How does balancing your career really help you from a financial standpoint? And then we have Venus in Libra, square Mars in Gemini. And so as you're balancing your career, it's creating some sort of challenge. So if there are additional actions that you want to take in your daily life, this is just making it a little bit more difficult. It is creating some sort of obstacle or challenge here. And so it's more of focusing on balancing your career before you kind of address anything else. And then Venus in Libra will be opposite Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So Neptune rules Pisces. They're both about dreams, but sometimes those dreams can become very unrealistic. When Neptune stationed retrograde, it was an opportunity for you to see the truth of the situation, really see the impact of those dreams. How practical were they? Are they realistic at all? Do you need to reevaluate, maybe reset some of those dreams? And so as you're balancing your career, you're really internally reflecting something connected to your dreams. And this could be something connected to the way that you communicate. You might have this idea for yourself on the way that you communicate that would also have an impact on your career or public reputation. But as you're trying to balance out and really create some sort of harmony here in your career or public reputation, it's opposite what you had thought about or maybe what dreams you had for yourself in the way that you communicate. And so this opposition energy for you is a little bit easier to work with just because it doesn't seem so significant. You would have to find that happy medium though, because this is a push-pull type of energy. It's not something that is going to happen organically. This one is going to require a lot of effort, but it is possible. So Capricorn, this is your reading. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.